What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTP Ravens Media, bringing you Ravens content every single day. If you want to see Ravens content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the notification bell as well if you want to get notified every single time we upload a brand new video. Now, in this video today, I'm going to be talking about the Ravens-Browns game and the decision by John Harbaugh for the Ravens to go for 2 when they were down by 9 points with 8 minutes and 56 seconds left in the game. Now, I'm going to get into that. I do want to know what all of your opinions are on that moment. And don't just think about it in post, because obviously, after the fact, you can look at it and you can say, well, the Ravens didn't get it, so obviously it was a terrible decision. Try and remember where you were at that point in time watching the game, what you wanted the Ravens to do. And if it's the same thing, you still think that they shouldn't have gone for it, or you think that they should have gone for it, totally okay. And I want to hear the reasons as well as to what you guys think about it. But before I get into the video, I just want to say Joshua and I are going to be live streaming, tomorrow, Wednesday, like we normally do. Don't know exactly what time it'll start at, but probably around 7 p.m. Eastern time. Sometimes it's around 7:30, but make sure to come to that. Answering any questions is always, kind of in the middle of the week, but let's get into it. In my personal opinion, I think going for 2 is smart. I'm a believer in going for 2 early because I think it sets the standard for where you are in the game. You have a better understanding of where you are and what you need to do. Because the Ravens going for 2 at that point, they still had timeouts in their back pocket. They wanted to know if they needed 2 more possessions or if they only needed 1 more possession. And if they had gotten the 2-point conversion, and I'll talk about the 2-point conversion call. I thought it was a horrendous call. I thought the play call was terrible. I hated the play call. All right. I felt like the rolling Tyler Huntley out to the right made no sense because the quick shotgun passes were working and they just like completely restricted the area, only put 2 guys out on routes, and it just really had about no chance of succeeding. I just felt like that was a terrible play call, but I still liked going for 2, if that makes any sense. I just felt like the play call could have been different. Heck, they could have run a run play or something like that, and I would have been more happy with it. But in terms of going for 2, my thought process is like this. All right. So the score is 24-9. The Ravens score a touchdown. The Ravens had actually been the only team to score in the second half. They had kicked a field goal about 7 minutes earlier in the game. They had gotten some stops on Cleveland, and they were like, all right, fourth quarter, Latavius Murray scores his touchdown. All right, we're down by 9 points, 9 minutes left in the game. We still have our timeouts. If we go for 2, right, and we don't get it, we know we're down by 9. We still need to get 2 possessions, and we still need to score. But if we get it, obviously, we know all we need to do is score a touchdown, and then we kick the extra point, or have the opportunity to go for 2 again if they really wanted to win it and had no confidence in their defense. I don't expect the Ravens to have gone for it for 2. If they had gotten it the second time, go for the win. I don't think the Ravens would have done that. I think it's different from the Steelers game when the Ravens were banged up in the secondary and they really didn't have any players and they felt like we wouldn't be able to play defense. But if you look at it like, all right, we need to know what we need to do. How do we utilize our timeouts? Because clock management and time management is key in these types of situations. If the Ravens know, hey, we have to get 2 touchdowns or two possessions and score twice. We're down by 9 if we don't get it. We know that when we get the ball back, assuming our defense can stop, we have to go quickly. Okay? And then we got to score, and then we got to get the ball back, and we got to go quickly. If we do get the 2-point conversion, all of a sudden we're down by 7 points. The Ravens get the ball back. Let's see. I'm going to look up the exact time that they got the ball back. Let's see here. After they scored a touchdown, then it was a minute and a half before the Ravens got the ball back. The Ravens got the ball back really quickly, okay? Then, unfortunately, they didn't get the first down. They punted the ball away. Then the Browns 3 and out again. Back-to-back 3 and outs. That lost 3 minutes of time off the clock. The Ravens knew that when there was, 5 minutes left in the game when they got the ball, or 6 minutes left in the game when they got the ball, they knew they had to score twice. So they had to go quickly. If they only needed to score once, they would be playing that game very differently. However, there would still be the question of do they get the 2-point conversion? Because if they're down by 8 with 6 minutes left in the game, the Ravens aren't going to want to try and score as quick as possible because if they do, let's say they score in 2 minutes, they run the 2-minute drill with 6 minutes left. All of a sudden, the Browns have the ball and they could have a chance at winning the game because it's a tie game now. But if they don't get the 2-point conversion, then they got to get another stop, and they weren't prepared. They wasted too much time. And that's like the thought process in it, is being able to know how much time you have left in the game to do certain things in going for 2. So if you go for 2 early, you're able to know, hey, we still need 2 possessions. If you go for 2 at the end of the game, if you don't get it, it's the end of the game pretty much. And if you look at what the Ravens did, the strategy still worked. You know, they didn't get the 2-point conversion, but they knew how much time they had and what they needed to do. So what did they do? They got the ball back. They scored a touchdown, okay? They kicked the extra point. They're down by 2, and they get the ball back. Now, obviously, there's luck involved in an onside kick and things like that, but they got the ball back. That's what needed to happen if the Ravens were going to have a chance at winning. The Ravens had 2 timeouts left at that point. Technically, if they had not recovered it, they still had a chance in the game. If they had gotten a 3 and out, they could have used timeouts and could have gone for a Hail Mary or something. But unfortunately, the Ravens on their final drive, they turned the ball over on downs. Some great plays by the Cleveland defense. Hats off to them. But the strategy still worked. It was just a situation where the Ravens felt like they wanted to know what they needed to do in order to execute their final game plan. And they executed their final game plan well. And I stand by the decision to go for 2. I just think that it was an atrocious play call. The Ravens are aggressive. They like to control what they do and when they do it. And they didn't want to put Tyler Huntley in a situation where it was, hey, you scored that 2-point conversion. There's a minute left in the game, or you scored a touchdown, minute left in the game, down by 2. You got to get this 2-point conversion. It's a lot of pressure. And I feel like they didn't want to put him in that. They felt like, hey, the momentum was really good. They just went on a really, they had a lot of momentum from their drive when they scored that touchdown. 7 plays, 69 yards. They were moving the ball well. They had that big play to Rashad Bateman. Like, the momentum was in their favor. The offense was doing great stuff. He had hit a couple of big throws, Mark Andrews down the middle, and obviously the Bateman throw. Use that momentum while he's feeling good. Don't make it a last play of the game type situation by going for 2. I think if Lamar Jackson's the quarterback, the Ravens potentially don't go for 2 there, but I felt like with Tyler Huntley, they wanted to just say, hey, let's get this out of the way so that we know what we need to do for the last 6 minutes of the game. They got it out of the way. They didn't get it, and they knew they needed to get 2 possessions. They got their 2 possessions. Unfortunately, they weren't able to capitalize, but I still feel like it was the right call. But let me know if you guys disagree, because this is a complete opinion in terms of coaching philosophy and analytics and all that type of stuff. That is a factor of opinion. Do you want to go for 2 early, or do you want to go for 2 late? It's really a question of what you think. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. But thank you, everybody, for watching. Subscribe for daily Ravens content, and I'll see all of you again tomorrow.